I just got back from the mall. I went to pick up the new Patrick Ta foundation, and I passed by Tom Ford and they had the new lip liners in stock. These were just released and I got 3 colors. I'm going to test them out for you. And we're also doing a full day wear test of the Patrick Ta foundation. And now, I was very hesitant to purchase this foundation because the Sephora reviews are not good. They're like 2 stars, 1 stars. I'm kind of scared a little bit. I think there may be some ingredient in here that is messing up people's skin, because there's a couple of pictures of people having really bad acne in reaction to this. So I was a little scared. I am not sensitive when it comes to the skin, but I am combo skin. I have dry skin around here and getting pretty oily in the center, and this is supposed to be a glowy foundation. So we're testing out a full day wear test of the Patrick Ta new foundation. This is the Major Skin Hydra Luxe Luminous Skin Perfecting Foundation. And then, like I mentioned, I have 3 of the lip liners from Tom Ford. I have swatched these in store. And yeah, that's what we're doing today. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it, and let's get started. The foundation is $58, so it's really expensive. It was, I think, $66 after taxes for me. I got the shade 11 Gold. I swatched multiple shades. The shade 12 looked pretty good on me. That one has a little bit more of a peachy undertone, but I am not tan at all right now, and I wanted my true shade, and this one matched me pretty spot on. The packaging is really nice. You can see it right here. It is a nice glass. The top is plastic, and again, it's very fingerprinty, but it feels nice and luxurious. I think the packaging is really nice, and then you have the pump right there. This is a very runny foundation. You can see how it's going down my hand. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a primer on one side and then no primer on the other side, because like I mentioned, I am a little bit oily in the T-zone. I thought it would be good to just see how it looks with primer and without. I have seen some TikToks about this foundation, and it seems very glowy. It seems like everybody loves it, but again, I don't know how much I trust that, because most of those people seem to have gone to the release, to the party, or it was sent to them. And I'm not saying that just because people receive stuff that they're not going to have an honest opinion, but sometimes some people, it can help them sway their true thoughts. So okay, I primed with my Tom Ford, the Traceless Soft Matte Primer, my favorite. And yeah, we're gonna just go for it. You can already see how much like smoother and more blurred this side is compared to this side right here. That primer is incredible. Okay, so I am gonna take whatever I put on my hand, and we're gonna go right here. I do have just a lot of little bruises and spots throughout my skin. This is supposed to be a medium coverage, kind of a natural luminous, they say. And yeah, that looks really pretty on the skin. I have done my skincare, I want to say more than an hour ago. I try to not have too much on my skin just because I knew this was quite liquidy and glowy. I think it's a pretty good match to my neck. I'm going to add just a little bit more. I didn't fully pump. I just like put a little dot. So we're going to put it in here. I have a truck parked right outside my house. I was waiting for it to kind of go away or turn the engine off, and it has not. So hopefully the microphone won't pick it up too much. The foundation has gone on really smoothly. It's definitely glowy, so it's not going to be amazing around the pore area. I will need to powder this in the T-zone for sure. But I like the coverage. I do agree that it's light to medium coverage. I'm going to build up a little bit right here. I have some veins showing. Very easy to blend in. I have no peeling so far on this side. I actually really like it. The skin looks great. I was so worried that it's gonna be awful and just peeling, and some people gave it a 1 star because of the price, and I understand that the price is up there, but I feel like you should rate this based on how it performs, not only based on the price. So if the foundation's great and it's $60 or $50, I wouldn't give it a 1 star just because of the price. I would give it what it deserves based on how it performs with foundation and then without. It definitely has evened out my skin tone. I really like the shade. I actually really like it. It's definitely on the lighter side, but I enjoy that. I like the undertone. It's not too golden or yellow. I am taking a Rare Beauty brush. This is, I think, their foundation brush. And building this up. This is the side where I did prime. The brush is definitely soaking up quite a lot of the product because I put maybe half a pump and I haven't even gotten half of my face. So it's definitely soaking some of the product because it's so liquid. So I'm gonna apply it first on the skin. I would probably use my hands. It worked so incredibly well with my fingers. I almost feel like the blend was immaculate and the coverage was perfect with my fingers. Here I feel like I don't know, maybe trying to add more product to give extra coverage and losing some of that foundation. I did not even read any of the claims. So it's supposed to be hydrating, vegan, radiant finish, medium coverage, best for dry combo, normal skin. So probably normal to dry. It has hyaluronic acid. It's a lightweight, luminous foundation with serum-inspired ingredients and a buildable medium coverage formula that boosts hydration and blurs the look of imperfections. And to be honest, I feel like that's exactly what it does. It feels kind of like a serum. Okay, so when I first applied it, it felt a little, not sticky, but it felt wet. And now that it's set for maybe 5 minutes, this side, it feels almost completely set. There's still this tiny bit of wet feel, but it has dried down a lot more than here. Yeah, this still feels quite wet. That is how the foundation's looking like on the skin. There's still some imperfections coming through. I have a bruise there. I have a bruise here. A little bit here. That's actually very sore. But I think that skin looks really nice. The pores, I wouldn't say that the primer looks that much more poreless and smooth. But I think this has had time to set down. This still looks kind of wet on the skin, you can see. And then here, it's just a little bit calmed down and dried. I think the skin looks great. What do you guys think? Yeah, I'm liking this. Let me go finish the makeup. I'm gonna try to do a little bit of a lighter makeup today. And I won't powder until we're together, and we'll try the lip liners also together. I was just blending my concealer off camera and I pulled this Rephr brush. This is the Rephr AA01. It is in collaboration with Alexandra Anele. She is here on YouTube. She's incredible. But I was playing with it and I was like, let me just use it for concealer, and wow. This is the most interesting brush. It's also angled, it's airy, but dense at the bottom. It is perfect. For concealer, it truly is, it's incredible. I'm kind of speechless. It's such an interesting brush, so innovative, so soft. So go check it out. You are supporting also another creator. Very interesting and amazing brush. I feel like this would be incredible for foundation as well because it's more airy. It like blends the product softly, and for concealer it's perfect. it's incredible. So I just wanted to share this with you. I will make sure to link it down below. Don't hesitate. It's a great brush. I probably should have just recorded the whole look because I have so many things that I want to show you and share with you. But I've put my bronzer. It is the Tom Ford shade in Illuminate. And I'm going to show you the YSL blush. This is in the shade 66 or 99, the pink one. And I'm going to add a couple dots here. And I just thought you guys would probably want to see this color in action. It is quite intense, but so pretty. Probably should have added just one dot instead of two. Yep, no worries. It blends in so easily. Look at that. Now the glow is coming more from the foundation rather than the blush, but it's such a beautiful color. Formula is incredible, very long lasting. I have to put two dots here as well. Make a mistake on one side, do it on the other. And just blend it in. Now it's time to powder, and I thought, why not? Let's put these two powders to the test. I bought the La Prairie loose powder. It hurts how expensive it is, but I love the Chanel so much. It's my new go-to since the Givenchy was reformulated, and I wanted to show you these side by side and get your thoughts on it because the Chanel is, I can't remember if it's $55 or $60, and you get quite a lot of product. You get 1 ounce in here, 30 grams. La Prairie is $250. Yes, I almost want to throw up, but it is 40 grams of product. However, you do get an extra one right here, and this little one is 10 grams. So you're getting 50 grams of product against 30 grams of product. But again, this is $250. This is, I'm not sure, around $55 to $60. I really was not planning to do all these extra things in the video, but it's right here. Why not? Okay, I'm taking the Chanel. This is in the shade 30. I kind of wish I had the shade 20, but this one works as well. So I'm going to work it into the puff, and then I'm going to go under the eyes. And this is a clean puff. I have 2 clean puffs right here. This is going to go for the La Prairie powder. I am going to go with the Chanel right here. It is a great powder and a staple at this point in my collection. And I'm gonna powder the T-zone. It's beautiful. Again, I wish I had shade 20, so it'll be just a little bit brightening. This one is pretty much my skin tone. And just setting this area here. Whatever's left, I'm taking it around here. I am gonna leave the rest of the foundation just to see how it lasts throughout the day and how glowy it can get. Maybe should I put whatever's left? I'm gonna take it on the forehead. I know I'm gonna need a touch up because my forehead gets quite oily right now. Today is gonna be, I think, 99 degrees outside. Great. Okay, so that is the Chanel powder. Again, I think it's smoothing, very blurring over the pores. It's a little bit more intense than the Givenchy. The Givenchy is more airy and just, I don't know, maybe more blurring. I love the Givenchy. Moving on to the La Prairie. La Prairie is very big, very intense. It does come with its own puff and its own mirror. This is the puff. I don't really use it. And then you have an open and close. This was open, obviously, but it's definitely very fragrant. The same with the Chanel. They both have like fragrance in it. Chanel, not as much actually. After smelling the La Prairie, this one doesn't compare to it. So let's take our clean little puff, and this is in the shade Translucent 1. I feel like I've seen so many people talk about this lately just because the Givenchy has gone, you know, down the hill. And so everybody's trying to find dupes. And it seems like this one has come up quite a lot. Nikki La Rose has also mentioned it as one of her newfound powders. And so I was like, I've been meaning to try this powder since I tried the foundation and just purchased it. And we're gonna go here and exactly what we did on the other side. This is more brightening. The shade is a little lighter. So disregard the actual shade because that's my fault for having the wrong shade in the Chanel. But I'm more worried about or curious about how it looks on the skin, on the pores, on the dry area. Let me add a little bit more. I want to say this seems to be a little bit more finely milled than the Chanel one. Like seeing them side by side and feeling them. It seems just a little bit softer, and whatever's left over, I'm taking it right here. And again, this area I'm most likely gonna have to powder throughout the day since the foundation's so glowy. Those are the powders side by side. What do you guys think? Let's take the big mirror. I honestly feel like they look quite similar. I do have a stronger wrinkle around my eyes on this side. That is, you know, just genetics. I think the color's a little different. Obviously, the La Prairie is a little bit brighter. And it looks a little bit less powdery and less intense than the Chanel one. I feel like the Chanel one is very mattifying, maybe more mattifying than the La Prairie. So if you have drier skin, probably the La Prairie is better. I kind of think that these are similar. They're not exactly the same. I think the Chanel has a little bit more of a matte finish. I think the La Prairie has a more natural finish. It's definitely blurring around the pores, quite perfecting. I think they're both beautiful, but is it worth the big difference just because the La Prairie is a little softer? I do like the color of the La Prairie better. I feel like the Chanel darkened my under eye a little bit. You can kind of see it right here, where this is a little bit more brightening. Yeah, I don't know. I think La Prairie is a little bit more smoother and blurrier, but not by much, you know? I don't know if anybody would actually notice in real life that you're wearing La Prairie or Chanel on the other side. I don't know. What are your thoughts? I just wanted to show you guys because I had a lot of comments about the La Prairie powder and you guys wanted to see it and you were interested in it. And that's like the difference between these two powders side by side. I'm going to finish the makeup and then give you my thoughts at the end after everything is set. Here is the makeup all finished up. I did swatch the lip liners for you. I will do inserts because it was so loud. It's been 2 hours, just so you know. I've been waiting for them, the construction and everything to move because it was so loud. I truly could not record, but I am showing you here all the swatches of the lip liners that I got and application. The shades that I picked up is the 102, 103, and 106. The shade 102 is the lightest one. It's a really pretty rosy color. It's pretty much my lips, but better. This is the shade that I would wear if I don't really want to wear something, but I want my lips defined. I actually really appreciate these kinds of shades because it just helps my lips look better without it looking like I'm actually wearing makeup. This is, by the way, called the Reese color. Next one is the 103. It's called Irresistible, and this is definitely my favorite, and I think it's going to be many people's favorites. It is a more brownie nude shade, and it's really pretty. It's one of those that I would wear to define my lips a little bit more, to give some color, but still keep it in that neutral nude category. It definitely has a little bit more brown in it, but it's not too much. It's actually a really pretty shade. And then the deepest one is the 106 called A-List. This one is a little interesting. I thought it would be a little bit more kind of brown, but once you fade it out, it's almost like a deeper brown berry color. So I was not expecting this to pull quite as red/berry on me, but it's still really beautiful. I think with a gloss on top, it would be a beautiful, beautiful color. The combo that I'm wearing right now is the shade 103, Line My Lips with that, faded it in, and then put the 102 pretty much all over the lip and just kind of blending these together. I have nothing on top of that. I may put just a little bit of my Chantecaille Cheetah. This is the Wild Senna, just a little bit. It's just gonna give a little hydration. I don't want too much. But I have so many thoughts on these liners. So let me start with the good. The good is that they are very pigmented and they glide really nicely. I like the colors, and I think these are gonna last all day long. I guess it depends what you're putting on top of it. If you put a lot of oils on top of it, it obviously will remove it. But I had the hardest time removing these. First, I tried the Bioderma micellar water. That didn't work. I had to go and get an actual oil cleanser to remove the liners. That is a good thing. But the negative, first of all, these are $46. Like, what? $46 for a lip liner? That's absolutely insane. Even for Tom Ford, they do come with a nice sharpener, and I will say the packaging feels nice and luxurious. Like, everything about it feels nice, but $46 to me, that is just ridiculous. If it wasn't for this review, I would not have purchased these, to be honest. There's Fenty, there's Freck lip liners, there's Mob Beauty, there's so many other ones around the $20 mark that are just incredible. You do not need to spend this much money on these. Now, the negative is quite a big one. These are not easy to work with. They are incredibly soft when you put them on, not quite as soft as Fenty, but the same idea, almost like a gel. But once you put them on, they dry down like that. So you cannot manipulate these really well. I find the Dior and the Chanel lip liners have the same issue for me, where I have to put a moisturized base underneath or make sure my lips are moisturized and not dry. Otherwise, I can't blend those out easily either. So it seems like these really luxurious brands have the same lip liner formula where it's just dries down so quickly, so it's very hard to blend them out. I use my Tatcha lip mask. Oh, it's here. I always have this one on my table. It's a mini one and I absolutely love it. So I put this one first, then took a towel, wiped that off, and then so my base was nice and moisturized, so the lip liners would work really well. They blended in super nicely, did not have an issue with that, and then eventually they dry down completely. So that for me is a huge drawback because it's a little bit more finicky. The Mob Beauty, the Fenty ones, even the Fenty ones, once these dry down, you cannot move them at all. At least with these, you get a little bit of time to blend them out and then they dry down completely. But with these, you really don't have that. So you have to pretty much make that by putting a base underneath. I think that could be a huge positive, that these could be extremely long lasting, and I would be willing to put up with that. But for this amount of money, I feel like that is a huge drawback. So I will wear them all day and let you know how they're doing. Like I mentioned, I put the Chantecaille lip cheek, I think that's what it is, in the center. So obviously there's some more oils in here, and we'll see how these two combine, but that is a huge drawback. The price at this moment, I do not recommend these, but if they last all day, maybe I would. I do like the colors and how nice they feel on the lips and stuff like that. But yeah, let's move on to the foundation. I have had this makeup on for probably more than 2 hours right now. Yeah, it's been more than 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. And this is how we are looking like. I think it looks fabulous. My expectations for this foundation were like very low just because of the reviews that I've seen, but it looks stunning on the skin. I went and looked in natural light, and I will obviously take you with me as well. But I love the coverage. The coverage is perfect. I would say it's a light medium, and you can build it up to a medium at most. I think it has a beautiful natural glow. It's not too glowy. Whenever I first applied it, I thought it looked very, very glowy and a little bit wet, but it does dry down. And right now, yeah, it's all set. And I didn't put a powder here, and I don't feel it wet at all or sticky. I think the finish is absolutely gorgeous. It looks, well, just everywhere around the pores. Obviously I powdered, and I think you have to powder this foundation, at least your T-zone, otherwise I don't think it's gonna look good. But to me, I think it still looks nice. I have a line that got in here, a crease, but that again, it's powder, concealer, it's a few products on top of that. The forehead looks nice. I do have to say that I see a little bit more texture than with some of my other foundations. My skin is breaking out a little bit, and like I mentioned, I just have like little spots here and there. Right here, for example, that right here is not dark under eyes. It's actually a bruise. It's just not covered. But I think it looks really nice so far. I have no complaints about this breaking apart. I like the finish, and yeah, so far so good. We'll see how it works throughout the day and in natural light, and I would love to hear your thoughts. But that's it for now. I will see you in just a little bit. First check-in, it's actually been quite a bit. It's almost 4 o'clock, so I've had this on for many hours. I was hoping to record a little earlier, but I got busy. So here is how the foundation is looking like. I think it still looks really nice. Definitely glowy, as you can see, but I don't think it's too glowy. Also, this is the Chanel powder, and this is the La Prairie. I feel like the Chanel looks nicer. What do you guys think? Again, this is a bruise. It's not the powder's fault, but let me move a little closer. The one thing that I have to say is that because the foundation is more luminous, glowy, it's not going to be as blurring and then smoothing over the pores as my Tom Ford matte one or other ones like that. So you'll see that I do have the pores showing a little bit more, some more of the texture, which is very normal. Do not be fooled to think that the Perfect is supposed to be extremely poreless and smooth. Like overall, the appearance it can, but when you get really up close, it's texture, it's skin. And I'm somebody that doesn't have a lot of skin issues, and you can still see the fuzz. I'm sorry, my son is in the background, but you know, you can still see a lot of your texture, and that is perfectly normal. And the foundation, as long as it doesn't emphasize that and it just looks nice and smooth, that is good. You know, some foundations are more matte, so they are gonna look more blurring and look better over those pores, but then your skin may look a little bit dry. So it's a give and take. But I think this foundation's doing really well for it being a glowy finish. And I think the pores aren't more emphasized than I would expect them to be with such a glowy product. But yeah, so far, so good. Second check-in, and I brought my little mirror here to inspect. It is quite bright outside. I just finished cooking, so obviously the foundation has been worn quite a bit. It is 6 o'clock right now. We're about to have dinner, so I thought I would do a check-in before. So let's see how it's looking like. Okay, it's definitely gotten oilier. Let me zoom you in. You can see right here that it is oilier, but it's not tragic. I was actually expecting much worse. I feel like the powder definitely has helped a lot. The T-zone, I actually really like it. This area where I'm more dry. So I feel like if you have dry skin, you would really enjoy it. It's definitely oilier here. I will say that it has not broken apart, which is a huge thing. Sometimes when foundations get too oily, they end up breaking apart. And this is still staying put. I actually am surprised that it's not looking worse. Again, it is oily here, and I have combo skin, quite oily in the T-zone, and then dry everywhere else. So yeah, I don't think it's tragic, but let's look up close at my powder. So here we have the Chanel powder. zoom you in even more. There we go. Chanel powder and then La Prairie powder. What do you guys think? I think the Chanel is lasting better. It's smoother. It's holding up the oils better. I will say I do have a primer here, my Tom Ford primer, and that one is incredible. So that may have something to do with it, but I have tested these powders side by side before, and I always liked the Chanel a little bit better. Mostly now that I have more dry skin, so not dry skin, oily skin. Maybe in the winter when my dry skin comes back, I'll enjoy the La Prairie more. Sorry, somebody's mowing. But for now, I think I like the Chanel better, and it is, what, a fourth of the price? Yeah. I forgot to mention that the lipstick is still on. It is 6 o'clock, so that's what, 6 hours? Well, the lip liner, so that is pretty impressive. We'll see how it looks after I eat. But that's it for now. I'll see you guys tonight. I am back. It is the end of the day. It is 9 o'clock right now, and I've actually edited this video, and I think I'm going to put it live tonight. Why not? Because it's pretty much ready to go. And this is the final check-in. So I'm gonna finish it up now. So I've had this on for 9-10 hours, which I think is a great test. And this is how the skin looks like. I am shocked how well it wore throughout the day. First of all, the lip liner is still on. I have not touched it up once since I recorded around 11, 12. I can't remember when I started, but it's still on. The only part that's gone is where I actually put the gloss, the Givenchy lip cheek, not the gloss. And that part is gone, and I've eaten, I've had coffee, I've done it all, and it's still on. So that tells me that I will get a lot of use out of these. Again, it's a pain to kind of put them on because you need to make sure you have your lips very moisturized, but the longevity of it, it's kind of worth it for me. Obviously, it's Tom Ford, so you're paying for the name. $46 for a lip liner is crazy. I still stand by that, but it has lasted. So there you go. However, the Fenty lasts pretty much all day long as well, so you definitely do not need to spend your money on a Tom Ford. The Freck and the Fenty ones are my most long-lasting lip liners besides the Tom Ford, so go for those instead of these. You get 2 for the price of 1. Let's move on to, first of all, the blush. The fact that the blush is still on, this is what I was saying with the YSL blush, that it's long-lasting. It's the end of the day and it's still on. Now the foundation, obviously I am oily, it has gotten very glowy, but it has not moved. It's still staying put. It has not broken apart. A little bit here on my chin. I have not powdered, not once. The forehead looks pretty perfect. The pores are quite emphasized by now. All around this area is quite emphasized. And I will say the side that has the primer is much smoother than the one that does not have the primer. So I was kind of expecting that. Also, because of that, I think the powder looks better. Like the Chanel powder looks better than La Prairie powder. I'm sorry, Andrew's washing the dishes. So yeah, I don't know if it's the powder that's better or if it's the primer. I assume it's the primer. I'm gonna keep you updated with these powders, maybe test them out a few more times and let you guys know. But the Chanel is a wonderful powder. You don't need to spend the money for this. That's the bottom line. And this foundation looks better with a primer. It's lasted better. It hasn't broken apart, but it is very glowy. So in conclusion, I think the foundation's actually great. I'm surprised how well it lasted throughout the day. It's oily, but I was expecting even worse because it was so serumy and glowy in the beginning. And because of the reviews. That's why I don't like to read reviews or watch reviews before, because it's kind of already giving me an idea of how the foundation should be, and that's just not fair. I think if you have dry skin, you are going to love this. I think it's going to be beautiful. It's moisturizing. It has a luminosity to it. It lasts really well. If you have oily, even normal to oily or combo, I think it's too much for you. This is a very glowy, luminous, moisturizing foundation, and I would say it's for dry skin, normal to dry. That's it. And even normal, if you like a glow, go for it. If you don't love a glow, then this is not for you. So I think the bad reviews are, first of all, something that is breaking out their skin. I cannot speak on that. But also the fact that it's very glowy. So if you have oily skin and you bought this, you're probably not going to leave a good review because it is not made for your skin. So I stand by this foundation. I think it's beautiful, and I'm very excited to wear it in the winter because it's going to be one of those that I think will wear throughout the day really well. Is it the most flowering around the pores? No, it is not the most blurring. So I will make sure to wear a blurring primer and powder. I think even if you have dry skin, you may want to powder this foundation. But besides that, like the pore area, like this, I think everything still looks great. So that's all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it and found it helpful, and leave me your thoughts down below. It's okay if you disagree with me. It's okay if you hate this foundation. Let's talk about it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.